recording yet? Hello, everybody. Today is July 22nd at 8:22 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are having the Kubeflow community call. Let's share our screen. Let me pull it out so I don't share everything else. I should have done that first. Oops. Well, let's go over here. Is that the right one? All right. Everybody can see my screen, I think. Cool. They changed how this renders. Okay, no longer a box. It just has a little button on it. Okay, so first of all, I want to go through the CNCF Code of Conduct. Please remember to demonstrate empathy and kindness towards other people. Please be respectful of differing opinions, viewpoints, and experiences. Be giving and gracefully accepting of constructive feedback. We're all trying to do our best, failing all along the way as humans. Please accept responsibility for actions and mistakes and make sure to learn from them and apologize. Focus on what is best for not just as individuals, but for the overall community. We're all a big mixture of folks from different places, and we want to make sure that we are welcoming of that. And let's use welcome and inclusive language, folks. Thank you. Cool. So we have the community agenda today. Is there anybody new that would like to introduce themselves? Or who's been around and just wants to say hi and reintroduce himself? Okay.
Hey, hi, I'm Yash. I'm currently new to this Kubeflow community, and this is like my second community call. The first one was notebooks, and yeah, I talked with Valentina, and she suggest me to attend this.
Awesome, Yash. Well, thank you for joining. Very welcome to have you. Well, welcome, and we're excited to have you. I have bad English is evidently the thing.
Thank you.
Cool, cool. Well, thank you. Anybody else? If there's anybody else who wants to introduce themselves, please feel free. Okay. Valentina, did you want to get us started with the Outreach Committee update?
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. We'll spend only a few minutes. So first, I don't know if you saw the post on LinkedIn. So we're excited to share that Kubeflow has been recognized among the CNCF top 30 projects, and it's actually being highlighted as one of the 6 projects at the top as well. It's like I think it's in the 6th place as one of the highlighted projects in this because of the end users, adoption, contributions. So kudos to this amazing community. So yeah, feel free to read it. It's a great report. And this lead us to we are working hard, as you know, on building this community, growing this community, but also working on recognizing and celebrating this community. So we are working on a new program. Stay tuned. I cannot announce it yet, but with that we need your help. So I have created, there is a link into the issues there. I have created a lot of issues that you could contribute. There are not, some of them are technical contributions, other ones not. So could be like, the idea is to collaborate with us within the community outreach by either helping us build events or just building content, promotional content, or it could be a blog, it could be more technical. So there are a lot of different things that you can contribute. So please take a look. If an idea that you may have that is not here, feel free to create the issue, tag me, or just connect. If you have an idea about like, hey, what if we do this other thing? I was talking with Tarek. He was mentioning about working on the examples, for example, that we need to maybe keep it up to date. So if you have any ideas, just you think how we can, bring more awareness on Kubeflow or help to adopt Kubeflow or bring new stories, connect with end users. So just, it's a great opportunity. It's a fantastic moment right now with AI/ML and everything that's going on in the industry. So that is one of the things. The other thing is, if you're not yet on the Slack, So please, and you're interested, of course, and be, aware of what's going on. We do have our channel on Kubeflow contributors, but also we do have Kubeflow Outreach, which is a public Slack channel where you can join and learn what's going on and get familiarized with what we are doing, and also connect with us if you want to contribute. The third thing, there is an opportunity to speak. The Infosys team and the OSPO is working on CodeCon. It's a virtual event. The date is August, I think the 6th. So they are looking for someone to speak in these 3 different topics. So we have sent a couple of speakers about other topics, but they are looking into these 3 areas. So if you're interested in speaking, please add your name here or just reach out to me directly and I can connect you with the team. And I think the other thing that is not there, but as you know, if you submitted to Kubeflow Summit, we just finished reviewing the proposals. So we are just the next weeks working towards notifications. I think that the deadline is August 12th. So stay tuned, but we are working towards that event, and I know it will be a fantastic event. I don't have anything else. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
Before I think we move on, I just want to say for everyone, here on the call, just listening, I think as I said in the Slack, this is a great opportunity for you to involve, especially if you're a student, if you're a master student, bachelor student, if you don't know anything about Kubernetes or ML AI, just want to get involved, please reach out to Valentina and our outreach team, because again, these contributions are super valuable and you can, learn a ton about Kubeflow and overall ecosystem. So please get involved, and you can make a significant impact on the future of Kubeflow. So it's a great program. Super excited about it.
Thank you, Andre.
Cool. So, Andre, did you want to give the KSC updates?
Yeah, maybe quickly. So a few things, I think first of all, we just want to congratulate the new maintainers. I think we have 2 new maintainers for the Kubeflow pipelines, right? I think it would be nice to list it here. Do you want to just announce it on the KFP side?
Yeah, of course. So, I think that we're pretty excited about, obviously the work that the Kubeflow pipelines team is doing. Matthew Prawl and Michael Zazula from Capital One, Matthew Prawl's a Red Hatter, have became maintainers as of last week. Let me write that down. Matthew Prawl. And we're really excited to see, obviously, Red Hat continue to add more contributors, and having presence in pipelines is great. What we're really excited about is seeing Capital One as well joining maintainers. There's 2 folks now from Capital One that are maintaining pipelines. So that's Google, Red Hat, and Capital One, and we definitely are excited to see more folks contribute and engage with Kubeflow and Kubeflow pipelines. And so big congratulations to them. Also want to congratulate, obviously, Valentina for her website. I think Julius is a PR nominating her for maintainer there. Thank you, Valentina, for all the incredible work you've done on the website, cleaning up our huge historical issues. Obviously, it just made sense. You're already a reviewer. Now you should be a co-owner. And so that's great. Well, one thing that we wanted to say to everybody, kind of blanket, that if you're updating a component, make sure that one of the component maintainers reviews that section to the docs. And so just some paperwork, but we're really excited about people continuing to take leadership positions in different projects. If there are other, if you're working in a sub project and want to become a maintainer, we definitely encourage that. We want that. We want people to feel like they can learn, grow, and maintain the kind of incredible projects we have within the Kubeflow ecosystem. And so, congrats everybody. I know it's been a lot of work, and so we're very appreciative of it.
Thanks, Francisco. Yeah, just again, congrats everyone. I strongly encourage to, other working groups and project maintainers to also like announce their contribution. I think we've done several nominations for trainer as well, like Antonian and Xiao also got an approval list. I probably will link the PR here, so congrats to them. I would love for other working groups to also like share their onboarding here on these calls, because I think it's important for us to share the success across the community, because sometimes this working group calls kind of isolated and we don't know what's happening. So we need to have a place to share the success.
And if people want to, I guess we should share it on the LinkedIn and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We also like working. I know there is some discussions going on around like what are the future working groups and how we can make our governments kind of more clear for new contributors. So we will kind of working on this a little bit and just to see, what needs to be improved and how we can provide clear guidelines for especially new contributors, how they can become a reviewer, approver, and maintainer moving forward, and the project owner. All right. Anything else on this side, or we can move on? All right. So I guess on the graduation side, I know we have a call another Tuesday every weekly. Every second Tuesday we have a graduation call. There are a lot of work going on. Thanks everyone who's helping us. I think a few things I would just want to highlight here is to, again, review self-assessment. I will link the PR here for self-assessment guides for every Kubeflow, every of the 6 Kubeflow projects. We need help from the pipelines team, from the notebooks team to review this. I think we already get a feedback from all the registry. Thank you for this. I just addressed this feedback. But we just need for every of the project owners to review this draft PR.
Wait,
And I
which
will
one is this? Is this not this technical? Is this the
sorry,
technical
yeah, I
review?
will. Yeah, sorry, I will link this PR for self-assessment. Yeah, I will link the PR for self-assessment, but basically we need to have.
Is it from? I think it was linked last week, right? I'll just copy it from last week.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. Yeah, so please review this, and I think also I want to call out. The next step for us is to call out for actually Kubeflow users. I know that Julius and Valentina want to ask several Kubeflow users to give a feedback. So there will be kind of a need from CNCF to interview some of the Kubeflow adopters. And if any of the end users listening to this call or here on the call, you just want to be on this adopters files and adopters list and interviewed by CNCF, please let us know ASAP.
Is that the correct pull request, by the way? The
Yes.
second one.
Um,
Is this the one you were talking about, or are you talking about something else?
yes, 871, right?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
onto
yeah.
our project. It's not onto
871, yeah.
not
Yeah,
onto the
this Julius
CNCF.
Alphonse, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, so for end users, I think I know Valentina, you will reach out to a few of them, but if some of other end users also want to give you feedback, let us know as soon as you can.
Just
To
make a
fill
link
the
there.
request.
So
Yeah.
there's an adopters file if you're
And even if you don't want to put yourself in adopters files, and if you just want to be interviewed by CNCF, you could also let us know. So it is not, I guess, necessary, right, for organizations to put themselves in adopters files.
Yeah, I mean we don't need a whole lot of ones for the interview. I mean, like they only need like 2 or 3. But like for the adopters file, it's the most valuable thing you can do. If you use Kubeflow or a specific component, please add yourself. So that link is for all of them, but you can find all the other ones as well. But yeah, if you're a big company that has a particularly interesting use case, I think the CNCF wants 3 or something, right? Yeah.
3, I think it was.
So like, I think we should, if just as a suggestion for the community, I think we should probably do like different industries if we can. Like if we have, a banking industry, some other industry, you know what I mean?
I guess from the KSC perspective, I would be happy to be able to narrow it down by industry. I'll first focus on getting 3, and then happy to narrow it down after.
I already reached out to users and waiting. But yeah, to everyone, this is a great opportunity, to support Kubeflow, the community, and also showcase how you're using Kubeflow. So yeah. So Andre, what is the best way to reach out?
So you can reach out to Kubeflow Graduation. If you don't want to make it public, you can reach out to, I guess, Valentina, myself, or any other KSA members privately. and then we will coordinate CNCF to start this interview. I think we should also ask CNCF whether this interview can be private. I'm not sure, but we can double check with them.
They can be, but they prefer it to be public, but it can be private, yes.
It can be private, okay.
They definitely, it's like, it would, yeah, it's allowed to be. They said that it was. It's just, it's I don't know. It's obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the CNCF. I'd prefer we don't make things more difficult than necessary. But yeah,
as many adopters as many like companies we get is better for us, right? Because I think like they probably will interview more than 3, but I need to double check on this.
I think it's a matter of timing more than anything, right?
Okay.
But yeah, like it's more like, because I don't know how much they want to I think when we did the same thing for incubation, and it was just that people showed up to the talk and said they were using it, right?
Right. Anything else on this, on the graduation side?
So have we progressed on the one thing that's kind of blocking us from raising the PR, other than your 2
Yeah.
self-assessments?
So I think like the one which is blocking us raising the PR is the security audit. So we have to complete security audit, and we have to find like 3 adopters who we can.
Oh wait, we haven't also finished the GTR like fully yet.
Yeah, but GTR, yeah, I mean, security audit will take the most of the time.
But aren't they already doing that? They're actively
Yeah,
doing
they
it.
tried to coordinate a call on 1st of August, but I'm trying to asking them like, can we do it maybe before, or they can review the doc that's they already prepared for us, right? Another company.
Okay, well, we need to make sure we follow up because they're talking in the channel,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. I think maybe one of the call to actions would be to review my updates to the George issue, template issue. So in the last call, we go over like the template issue, and I've added all the items there.
So did you
So-
add the links to the
Yeah,
things?
I will also add the link here.
I know, not what I'm saying is for the.
Yeah,
I can,
I added all the links from my point of view, but maybe we can do it better. So if you have any feedback, I know Matteo, I think you already
I've got the
followed,
link here. Let me just
but
link it.
Yeah.
yeah, mhm.
Thank you for incorporating the comments, Andre.
Yeah, I would love for others to also review. Yeah, that's right. All right, I think we can move on here if you don't have anything else on the graduation. All right. So I think like maybe one thing on the KSS side. So do you want to talk about it, or?
Yeah, sure. I just didn't want to. So, we're obviously KSC is very appreciative of the community. What we wanted to do was actually open up avenues for the community to give us feedback about things that are high priority. So I'm going to be drafting a survey, and that we'll have it ongoing. It's not going to be just a one-off. We'll put it on the website, and it'll allow people to share feedback about things that they'd like to see, things that like aren't working, just general feedback, and things that we should be prioritizing. I'll try to keep the survey number of questions short, just because I tend to think long surveys end up having noisy results, where if you do a short survey, you give people a little bit of free form text, you can learn a lot. So if people want to help share their opinions about what should be in that survey, how long it should be, and want to engage, please let me know. I'll be drafting it, and I'll share with the community what the draft looks like, and then we can finalize it and put it on the website. But again, we care deeply about making sure that this community is successful, and that we do our jobs in driving the community forward and making the community successful. We can't make everybody happy, obviously. That's not the goal. It's just to kind of get progress. But within that, we can still try to get most people happy, and that's really what we want to do. So please feel free to reach out to me, post in the Kubeflow contributors Slack or whatever, or find me on Slack, Francisco, and then we can talk there.
Yeah, I think just I know Josh here and also on the call, but again, historically we didn't have any committee within Kubeflow, starting from 2017, right? Like we started this kind of open government system since 2019, and then we kind of graduate towards steering committee, and right now we had already 2 elections, and we have also new members. So there are a lot of things which is new for us and the whole community. And like, I really hope we can, build these connections more strongly and just incorporate feedback from especially community members on how we can all improve and build a better progress, right, for the overall community. So I think this is important for us, and overall it's important for the Kubeflow future. So please don't please reach out to us if you have any kind of feedback or want to discuss anything privately. Right. Yeah, any short questions, comments on this from the community? Like any feedback?
No?
All
Okay,
right, then we can move on. Yep.
cool. Okay, next item was a call for end users. Andre, I think you already had spoke to this, but just wanted to make sure. Yeah, okay. And now Jen. Jen, did you want to share some insights?
Yeah, hi. Thanks. I skipped the intro earlier, but also wanted to mention that I am new to attending this meeting. This is my first time. So thanks for letting me join and present on this topic. I'd also like to take over screen sharing if I can figure out how to do that. So I guess give me a few minutes, and my dog is licking my arm as I'm trying to use my mouse hand. Okay, so I think I'm
Should
choosing
yeah.
the right thing.
We can see a whole screen. Is that okay?
Okay. Let me, is there a way to just
What part are you trying to share?
a menu? I mean,
Might be.
the
I don't know
window,
how
is
you.
that,
There you go.
did that work?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so my name is Jen Giordino. I'm a member of a user experience team that supports UX efforts for Kubeflow model registry. And I wanted to share an update regarding some user research that my team completed for model registry, and just wanted to also call out some of the other team members who participated in this effort. So Haley, she's not here because it's really late for her in the day, but she did a lot of the work related to this effort with planning the research and also providing design recommendations that I'll share with you later. Also, Eder was really helpful for connecting us to the community and helping us to recruit users from the Kubeflow community to participate in this effort. And then Vince, I think he's joined the call. He also helped us with just planning the research and facilitating those sessions with participants. And then Mark kind of came in at the end. We had a lot of findings and really wanted to move forward with focusing on design. So he helped out with teasing out some of the findings from the research sessions that we did. So I'll go over some of the background, like the reasons why we wanted to do this. And I'll also just mention, I have a really long deck here. I'll share a link to the deck in the meeting notes. And I'll skip a lot of what's included here and really just kind of focus on some of the key findings that came out of this and the designs that we created based on those findings. But just to give you some background and context, as part of the team that supports Kubeflow Model Registry, we wanted to do some research to test out some ideas and get a better understanding regarding user preferences around navigation patterns within the model registry itself, but also to better understand the mental model that people have with how a model registry relates to a model catalog. And there's, when I share these slides, there's a link to a GitHub issue related to model catalog relative to model registry. I think as this topic came up, we had a lot of questions just regarding how do users, what is their mental model when it comes to a catalog and a registry? And then for this research, we had 10 total participants with a mix of backgrounds ranging from platform engineer, data scientist, MLOps engineer, We were able to recruit 3 participants from this community, which we really appreciated the opportunity to connect with those users and get their feedback on this. And then the rest of the participants in the study were people that we had found within Red Hat. I think I forgot to mention I am at Red Hat. And for the study, we also used a variety of activities that we walked through for this research. Some activities shared concepts and asked questions about those concepts. Others were just questions for the participants. And then there was also an activity where we used an interactive prototype to help us capture feedback from the participants. And so here's an example of the prototype we used. We ended up creating 2 prototypes. So the prototype was mainly designed to help us test the navigation patterns in the model registry. And with the first prototype, there was an assumption that we wanted to test. And after a few sessions, we easily identified some issues with the original prototype and were able to make changes in the second prototype that we tested. So I only show an example of the second prototype here. But I also wanted to call out that if you're familiar with the UI in Kubeflow, it's using the visual styling that comes from Material UI. The visual styling that you see here is coming from Patternfly. And so even though we are using Patternfly and the mockups that we create, the information architecture of the 2 design systems between Patternfly and Material UI are very similar. And so the recommendations that we're making here would also be valid in the context of Kubeflow. So skipping ahead, so the findings, as I mentioned, Mark Jackson helped us pull out some of the findings. And there's a lot in this section of the presentation. I'm going to skip ahead to some of the findings that represent the insights that we wanted to focus on, because they are more of a minimal increment to the UI that we have today versus some of the findings that Mark pulled out. I think it would require a little more discussion and exploration to move forward on. So one of the key findings that we had when we were testing the prototype, specifically when we were testing prototype 1, that interaction pattern took the user directly from the list of models. And then when they clicked the model name, they were navigated to a specific version for that model. So the latest version. And we found that navigation pattern to be very confusing and disorienting for users. Users definitely prefer to have a clear object hierarchy and a navigation pattern that represents that object hierarchy with the registry to the model to the version. Another thing that we found that was interesting is that participants expect to see details about the model when they click the model name. So today, the navigation pattern we have is they click the model name and then they see a page that lists the versions in that model. So what we found with this prototype testing is that they actually prefer to see more details about the model itself. But they also do appreciate having that summary of the list of versions, which you can see in the example from the prototype shown here. And then some participants also mentioned wanting that description to support Markdown so that they could more easily provide details like code examples or other specific types of formatting for the description that they provide. For the next set of findings, I'm going to skip ahead to a few slides. So in this slide 15, this is when the user has drilled down into seeing details about a specific version. And one of the things that we learned from the prototype test is that there are people that still want to see details about the model itself. So in model registry, there's this object hierarchy where you create a model, and then within a model, you have a version, and there are details associated with the model and details associated with the version. details like the description of the model, they still find relevant to include when they're looking at details for a specific version. So that was one specific insight that I wanted to call out as it relates to the design recommendations that I'll show next. So I'm going to skip ahead. As I mentioned, that there are a lot of slides here that kind of dig into more of the findings that we captured with trying to understand details related to the registry versus catalog. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go straight to the design recommendations that Haley had put together. So in this example, this would be the page you see after you've selected a specific model registry. So here you see a list of models. So the recommendations that we're making here is that right now this column, the latest version, we don't have that column in the UI today. So we're recommending that we include this column to provide an easy way for them to navigate directly to the latest version, if that is the page that they want to get to, in addition to having this link take you directly to the model details page. And so some of the details that Haley provided here is calling out some of those changes, like adding this column, displaying the version name, and then what we would do if the latest version is not available, if it's archived. And then also in the actions menu, providing a way to navigate directly to the list of versions, which is the behavior that we have today. So if users still prefer to be able to go directly to the list of versions, they would be able to do that with the action menu versus this overview page, which would take you more to the first page that you would see if you clicked the name of the model. And so in this example, you see the designs that Haley's recommending. Once you click the name of the model, here you see that there's a tab for the overview and also the versions, which map to the actions that are shown in this actions menu. And so there's a two-column layout where she shows on this overview tab details about the model, like the labels, the description, other metadata that we have for the model itself. But then on the right, she includes a summary of the versions. So showing up to 3 of the latest versions and some of the labels and the description associated with that version, with the ability to see all versions. So if you were to click this link, you would just go directly to this versions tab, which would then give you a table view similar to what we have in the UI today for listing all of the versions. And so this example just kind of calls out more details about some of the changes that she's recommending for this specific page. And then scrolling down on this page, it's kind of hard to see. In this example, there's a divider after properties, and then the section called model card. So one of the things that we had talked about based on the insights is changing the description that we have today to be more of a short description for the model and introducing this idea of a model card, similar to what people are familiar with in Hugging Face. And so if on this slide, like it's blurred out, but a model card is basically just markdown that someone would provide to provide details about that model, such as code examples, which is one example that a participant had mentioned wanting to provide. And so skipping ahead to the other details for the model overview tab, these callouts just highlight some of the details that Haley provided regarding how we would list versions, and a few other details regarding the model details. So if there is no model card, we just simply don't show that section in this page. So then the last example that I'll show you relates to the version details. So one of the findings that I shared mentioned that people want to be able to see information about the model once they are looking at details about a specific version. And so the way that we decided to handle this was to provide a section for model details, similar to what you would see on the model page. But on the version page, this would be collapsed by default, and the user would be able to expand it. So if they did want to see specific details about the model labels or description or the model card, or other metadata that exist, they would have that easily available while viewing the details of the version. And then they still have all of the metadata about the version that exists as well. And then these slides show just the additional annotations that Haley has provided. And one, I guess, additional design that she had worked on that she included was being able to easily switch between versions. So this next slide shows her recommendations for how to handle that. This was something that we had included in the prototype. And this was something that received really positive feedback from participants. So when you've navigated to a specific version, you see this menu here. You can expand it to easily switch to a different version, or even easily navigate to that table view that shows all the versions and all the details about the versions if you need more information about the list of versions that are available. But that's it. I know I don't want to take up too much time in this meeting. I know there are other topics. Like I said, I'll share a link to these slides, and there are a lot of other details included here, like what we learned about the different personas. So feel free to take a look. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Oh,
letting
you're
me
talking,
present.
Francisco, muted.
Classic. Thank you, Jen, for that. I appreciate that. And thank you, Matthew, for letting me know that I was muted. Andre, did you want to give
May I
a...
ask you a quick question before we move on? Yeah, I just want to say, I think this is great. Jen, thank you so much for giving an overview. Maybe just a quick question on the persona side. So do you kind of see that different personas actually, like platform admins, platform admins and AI practitioners interact with model registry? Because I noticed in your slides you have several, like feedback from different folks, right? And who usually like the consumers of model registry UI?
Sorry, thanks. So we definitely heard, I think, feedback regarding the traditional predictive ML workflow and understanding the personas there being data scientists and ML ops, and the idea that model registry is a great component for facilitating that handoff from data scientists and ML ops. And there are, like both of those are personas that have needs that we want to try to address with the designs and model registry, because they're likely looking for slightly different information. But we want to be able to accommodate both of those types of users. When it comes to the Gen AI personas, and I don't know if it is helpful for me to switch back to the slides where I have some more detail on that. That's something that I think for me is still an open question regarding how much would the persona that we're starting to refer to as the AI engineer who would be consuming models, how much would they be going to a model registry for those large language models, for example. So there's definitely a desire on behalf of the platform team who's getting their sort of directive from the company's IT team regarding what LLMs should be made available. I think this is a key piece of the catalog, with enabling the platform administrator to be able to specify what models that that organization is able to access through the model catalog. Whether or not those models are registered and experimented upon, I think that's still something that I'm very curious to learn more about. And it may be too soon for me to have like a really clear understanding of what the connection is between an LLM and a catalog and going to the registry and who are the users that are kind of interacting with the models.
Yeah, like yeah.
I just want to quickly ask as well, like, is there any, you talked about Hugging Face, but like, obviously a lot of people, the open source model is the model, right? So if they're fine tuning it, sure. But like, you know, I'm just wondering how that relates to Hugging Face and if there's integrations planned or anything like that.
I think for the catalog, the participants we had, they definitely are like Hugging Face is definitely shaping their mental model for how like what they expect in terms of how you would grant access to models and sort of the concept of like models that are public and available to everyone versus models that are kind of more restricted and available to specific groups. So that's definitely something that I think is worth considering. And I think for a model catalog, there will be an expectation that you would be able to pull models from credentials that you have associated with Hugging Face. So if you have access to a collection of models that you're curating in Hugging Face, being able to pull those into a model catalog and then being able to then register those models from the catalog into the registry, if that matches your best practices with how you manage a model lifecycle, I think those are functionalities that would be worth exploring further.
Well, definitely. I mean, I think we can talk more on this in the future, maybe sometime. But I think incorporating to that by persona always hard. I think Hugging Face is more kind of like ML engineers focused, because like for example, me as an ML engineer, I probably don't care about where a model is stored, like what catalog I'm using. You use Iceberg, do you use like S3, GCS, like where you store the models. But I'm maybe interested in terms of my metadata, some metrics, information about how I can fine tune these models, where it is used, different floating points, like which GPU can I use? So the thing is like, because different persona might require different kind of expectations on the UI, it might be really tricky to address all of those requirements, right, in a single place. That is why I'm asking, like, how do you envision different users of model registry actually consume this single UI?
Well, I mean, obviously they're just doing research, but like, yeah, this is like these are valuable areas of research, I think is the idea we're saying, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jenny, what would be helpful if you can share this in your presentation in the Kubeflow discuss maybe mailing list, and also in also maybe an announcement, because I think it's really really interesting to hear feedback from users um, on this as well.
Yeah, just to make sure I heard you. So you said share in the mailing list, and then where else?
Have
Yeah,
you
and
sent it in the meeting? Have you got? Yeah, I'm sure Matteo was mentioning in this messages. Have you presented this at the meeting as well?
Oh, what
No,
I
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, what I just meant to say is like I will help Jen to share to the channel that Andre mentioned, but indeed sort of like a sorry to jump in. A good and sorry for the shameless plug, but thanks again, Jen, and all the UXD team that they're helping us and the UI team, especially for model registry UI, because indeed this is a research that informs a lot about the future development for the UI and also, of course, naturally the backend. The shameless plug is that we discussed this in even more details during the Kubeflow model registry bi-weekly meeting. So sort of like this happens every Monday. It's typically scheduled just after the release team meeting. So I'm happy to have this discussion in even more greater details in that venue. And indeed, it's sort of like we can expand on much more details. But I also want to, again, acknowledge Jen and all the UXD team for the great help that they're doing for the model registry working group. So thanks a lot for presenting this. And I hope this is informative for the whole community as they will see the changes happening in the UI and transparently the backend.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Matteo. I think this is super great. Love that we're sharing the research that we did. Probably in other components, we should consider doing that too. Awesome. Andre, did you want to share your update?
Yes. So after almost a year of work, we finally released Trainer 2.0. It's great. I think thanks everyone who has been involved. It was an amazing journey. I think like the goal of this project back in July last year was to see how we can unify training infrastructure on top of Kubernetes together with Kubernetes community. And one of the primary goals is to actually reuse existing Kubernetes native APIs, jobs and job sets. And during the design, we kind of like think more deeply of how we can improve the experience for users and provide the like persona-driven architecture for CRDs. So this is great. We have a lot of contributors. We recently announced this in LinkedIn and in the different socials in X and Blue Sky. Like if you, it will be really helpful if you can also like share the announcement and if you can review the blog post. Thanks Anna for driving the blog post because this was super helpful for us to share overall work we've done. I think if you open, so Francisco, do you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah. So in the blog post, we just try to kind of explain what is actually this release is about and what are the new features introduced in the Trainer 2.0. Like, starting from API with the job sets, with different runtimes, and other things we support via the job and job set APIs. So I think this is pretty exciting. We have a lot of already interest from companies who want to adopt this framework even before we making the release. So some of the folks working with us to see how we can use it in production. Because I guess like this is like the simplest way for them to just, use PyTorch or any other frameworks on top of Kubernetes. So we would love to, grow this moving forward. So I think we planning to kind of like establish a roadmap for this year, next year. And we have a lot of things, starting from data cache all the way to supporting schedulers like Kai, Volcano, Q, and also like supporting, I guess, like local execution for SDK and GPU accelerated checkpointing, which is pretty exciting. So there are a lot of things in the roadmap. I probably will share this maybe sometimes in the next call, so when we finalize in the working groups. But I think it was great. So that was really interesting journey. Really exciting to see how we can make the next releases for this project. Any questions so far from the community?
I assume this means you've updated the docs.
Yeah, we actually, yes, that's right. So we updated a few of the docs. I think most of them already been updated. We're constantly doing updates for some other features. But I think one of the help I want to call out, if you want to contribute, we have few things we need to work on top of Kubeflow documentation. And if you want to help, please let me know in Slack and on the Kubeflow trainer. You can just call out there and I can just tell you what you can work on. So there are a lot of things we definitely need help with.
Awesome.
Next call this Wednesday, by the way, if you want to attend. I will share this in the.
Which time?
Yeah, this is actually 3 p.m. So it's like I think it's 7 a.m. PST.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Andre. And congratulations, everybody, on Trainer V2. Incredible work. Albert, did you want to share an update about your blog post?
Yeah, many blog posts and tutorials that we find are focused on specific components, and sometimes for people who are new to AI, it's hard to see how this fits into the AI lifecycle. So the goal of this blog post is precisely that, to demonstrate the entire process for AIs, from the data preparation to serving the model for inference. And this is done with several Kubeflow components. It demonstrates, for example, Feast, Spark operator, model registry, kserve, and this is all orchestrated with Kubeflow pipelines. I tried to do this in a way that we could reproduce in our laptop, so we don't need a real cluster. We can just create a cluster with kind, and we can run everything on that. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a bit extensive, so if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message.
This is awesome, Helberg, because the one thing that I think is really important that we have the kind of AI ML lifecycle on the Kubeflow website, right? You go to the docs and getting started.
Oh yeah, there's a pending PR on this one as well that cleans up the formatting a little bit, but
yeah, but so we have this kind of this diagram here that goes over the life cycle, and what I like about this blog post is that it actually shows that in code through our projects. And I think this is really highlights the power of Kubeflow, and that like, hey, look, we have all the components here to help you be successful in doing this. And I think that's what the biggest value is to like an MLOps team and an ML team on why they would use Kubeflow. And so this is fantastic. Seeing all of the different components here being used, Kubeflow pipelines, you said, the Spark operator, K-serve model registry. I think you used just the sklearn or something, right, for the training. Is that right?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah.
So I mean, that's an exercise for another day, or somebody can cut a PR to improve it to use a trainer. But I think this is so great. I know that you worked with quite a number of other people, so thanks to all the folks that helped on that front too.
Do we want to add this to the examples page or something?
We definitely should. We absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, because if this is like the first, we could probably not have a note that says it doesn't use trainer or something. But other than that,
Well, we should probably just enhance it to use trainer. I think it's probably like the.
I guess this is the question as to whether things should live in blog posts or on website pages. Because like blog posts are kind of static in some sense, right? Most people would never go back to a blog post and think it's changed.
I think we can go back to an update. We can. I mean, I think in this circumstance we can do both. One that like because this is a blog post to introduce it, but then we could probably like do like.
But that also might make it harder to read. If you make it more complex, there is something to be said about removing some complexity at the expense of reality.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have a good answer there. Yeah.
Anyway, it's great. Yeah. I mean, we should just highlight it, is all I'm saying, like, so that people who don't view the blog somehow see it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can probably find a way to put it on the website somewhere.
At very least on that examples page, which has out-of-date examples.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have it linked in the Kubeflow pipelines README, if I remember correctly, or yeah, I think that's it's in README. We could do the same. Just link it.
Yeah.
Or we can also evolve this with new features that we add to the platform or stuff.
I think that's and my personal is that to be like an intuitive thing, because the more we make the behavior across the components more coherent, the like better the end user experience is. I mean, I think that's kind of the premise of the Kubeflow SDK. And so like like right now this is a lot of code, and hopefully with the SDK ends up being a little bit easier. We'll see what that ends up looking like. But I think it's a good start. And so anyways, the point being, Helbert, congratulations. This is a fantastic blog article, and thank you for spending all of the time working across all of these different components to get this done. I hope this gives us kind of empathy for like end users, because this is actually pretty similar to what they're going through, right? Like, except they write 10x more code, because we kind of gave the lightweight, simple examples, but in practice, a lot of ML engineers or data scientists or whoever are like writing lots of application specific code. And so it helps us get understanding of like, hey, look, how can we do better to make their lives easier? Thank you, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
Speak to soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.